So we're here with Dinsync. Paul.
Hello again.
Hello. Yeah, you've thrown a bit of a curveball here.
Yeah,
What's this?
we're all about preserving the techno culture, and before the USBs and CDJs, we had rolling machines or drum machines and 303s, but we also were playing them with vinyl. Now what we have here is a record lathe that you can use at home to make your own tracks into actual records. Now these aren't lacquers, they're not actually vinyl, it's a softer plastic than vinyl, but it allows you to get somewhere to between 90 to 95% of a real vinyl sound, and the quality is absolutely off the hook. And there's essentially nothing like this in the market at the moment, and we think this may well be dawn of the new dub plate culture, which we absolutely adore. You know,
That's amazing, man.
you know, for someone like me who comes from a generation of playing music with vinyl, tactile, it's a dream come true.
Done a great job. I mean, how long has this been in development?
Well, this was developed by my friend Ned, who's not with us at the moment, but he's over on the other side. But basically, it's had about 18 months of testing, and before that, I met him last year, and I liked the prototype, but he built it on his balcony, and I said, look, this is absolutely amazing. Let's make it into real products. We worked for the last year to make it into this, and this is the NC-V8 Acoustic Lathe. And it essentially lets you make records.
Brilliant.
And we can describe the process for you, and then we can show you some examples of stuff that we cut here actually at the show. So basically what we have,
absolutely.
you have your audio, this is just a DAW with logic, and then we have some processors. We're using, in this case, Tokyo Dawn Records Simulathe. This is some software you can download, you can buy it, or they have a demo, you can check it out. We're using some Waves Q10 to do the inverse RI-AA curve, basically the de-emphasis and emphasis that's needed to get more actually volume onto the record.
Yeah.
We just got an analyzer there for ourselves. This comes out to the SSL2. This is great, really good converters in this.
Yeah,
and
nice
that
machine.
goes to the a power amp. This is just a generic power amp, and we've got an EQ behind this, and I'll explain to you why it's hidden, because we don't want people to change, but I'll explain that in a moment.
Yep.
And then it comes to the cutter head, and the cutter head we put into position with the controls. We set the pitch, that's how much time do we want to have on the record. And there's a small vacuum system, this brass pipe, that removes the swarf from the cut, so because there's material that's coming off as we're cutting. And basically there's a vacuum cleaner under here, which is the household vacuum cleaner we're using to remove that.
Nice.
And when you get to the end of the record, you lift the head up, bring it back, and you have a record.
Amazing.
And I mean, that's in a nutshell. Of course, you need to calibrate your system, and that's the idea of the EQ is, the first cut you do should be some white noise. You send white noise through, you record it to the disc, then you record that back into your system, then you have an idea of the frequency response between what you're cutting and what your source is. Then you use an EQ to fix any peaks or troughs. That's why we blanked off so no one can actually touch it, because then we couldn't cut something at the show. But we've got some examples we've done here at the show. These aren't ideal circumstances, you know, not in a studio, we're in the outside. I mean, ideally you want the room temperatures to be about 24 degrees, and we've got a heat lamp or we've also got a heat on the stylus. You want to get 3 or 4 more degrees to get a better, louder cut. So the wrong temperature means you have a little more track noise and you can't cut it as loud. But bearing that in mind, I can show you a demo of stuff we've cut here.
Please do.
Hopefully it's all hooked up and ready to go. This first track is some hard acid, so it's already distorted sound, but we've got some other varieties, so it's not just going to be this. But you should be, hopefully you can hear that.
Wow.
This is a track by Paku. Okay, and we'll give you another example. We've got another track here. This is by Sean Ruderman from the States. It's more like a sort of Detroit techno sound, a bit more kind of a grungy sound to it. We'll let that go for a bit.
Wow, the kick really's got some punch there.
It's got it there. And then we've got this. This last track was cut yesterday. Richard Lectroid, who does his own mastering, he said, "Hey, can you do a demo?" And so we cut this. This is his track, and that's electro, and you can hear because the other tracks have got a tone on them already. So this is a bit clearer, so you can actually hear the dynamics in the actual cut.
Yeah, there's a lot of air in that sound. There's a lot
Right,
of really
and so
nice high end.
I mean, basically, you can make your own records, and they're available
Fantastic.
1st of June on the Reed 303 web shop,
Amazing.
along with all our other lovely machines.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, really, really impressive. Really
Thanks.
impressive. What's just out of interest? What's that box doing?
Well, this
there?
is
We just kind
basically,
of look at the actual.
Since the head's
hardware
lifted
on
up,
that.
not cutting, I can show you. We can. Oh, it's not actually switched on. I'll switch it on. This is the control. So basically, you decide how much time you want to have on the record. You can set the pitch here. You change the pitch. We've got a little chart which tells us with time. Okay, we want to cut 10 minutes, 650. This is at 33. We just type it to 650. Press the button. It saves it. This will be the speed of how fast the head advances across. We've got controls to position the head. Forward and backwards, and then you also have the button to, when you press record, it will start advancing slowly at the speed you've set, and when it's finished you can double tap and it return the head. Oh, you've got to stop it first. Oh. Double tap and it returns to the starting position. So basically, depending on your material, how loud, how long, the idea is to have try and cut it as loud as possible to reduce, signal to noise. In this case, track noise to the signal. So, if you have a low volume record, you have more track noise. But we use also, as long as the heat is good in your room, and your humidity is low, 24 degrees in the room, and you heat your records with this is just a reptile lamp from the pet shop.
Oh, nice.
We've got a heat stylus, but if you can get like 3 or 4 extra degrees on it, then you can actually get, even with no music, you can get a nice clean cut. If you see there's some kind of stuff on this is basically turtle wax that we use to you spray it on before we do the cut, and this just keeps the static down. This is an old, the old guys who cut their old records from years ago. This is their trick. Some of them use, depending on the material, they use like Ronsel oil or something, but we found that all the waxes were recommended. The turtle wax was the best for some reason. We don't work for turtle wax, but so we spray it on before. This keeps the static down. It also helps the cut. It just sounds better if you use the wax. It reduces the track noise, and at the end, once it's dried, you just wipe it off with a microfiber.
Does it also like dissipate the temperature a little bit? Being
we don't really know. I mean, it's just a hack that someone said try this, and we tested various waxes, and some worked and some didn't.
Yeah.
But we found the best results with turtle. Just a particular turtle is the wax and dry. It works really good. It's a little bit more expensive than the cheap wax. You buy the cheap wax at the shop, it doesn't work. I don't know why. The physics, it's something to do with the physics, I guess.
Yeah.
But it has to be a little bit, not totally dry. Sort of spray it on, let it dry a bit, and then you cut it, and it makes a hell of a difference.
Excellent. Well, it's great that you're preserving the 90s here, man.
Yep.
In everything you do, and this is a splendid addition to the
Thank
Dinsync
you.
range.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, man.
See you next time.